Hey there, everybody. Kendall here. First off, I'm going to just tell you that I am still nasty sick. So if you catch me blowing my nose on a conscious coffee, that's what's going on with that. And if I get a little raspy or hack up a lung, yep, that's just where I'm at. I guess I need to practice a little bit better self-care in the coming days because I think I've just been pushing it a little bit too hard. At least that's how I look at colds and such. It's just kind of like a good swift kick in the pants of some TLC time that is needed. I'm actually grateful that it is Thanksgiving week because everything is a little bit softer this week, a little bit stiller. I've dedicated a little bit more downtime just on the front side of the week, working and taking the whole backside off, which is just really, really good. Because even though I just got back from vacation with the kiddos off from Orlando and stuff, that was just such hustle and bustle and just this go, go, go that it was just kind of crazy. No downtime when you're actually traveling with kids, that's for sure. Hey, morning Addison, morning Craig. So this morning I wanted to touch on something that's kind of been open conversation, bouncing around with clients, with friends, in my own personal life, and just, looking at stuff the way it is, the reality, truth-bearing moments of the grand feminine here, which is what we're going to be kind of talking about when it comes to bare sex. And I've got like my bed head, like my freshly fucked look going on, even though I didn't have anything like that going on because I'm too congested. And reality is I had 2 little kids in bed with me and they were just like, no, we had nightmares, so nothing's gonna happen then, right? That's the life of being a parent, I guess you could say. But no, I'm like, I did this dry shampoo and it's a new dry shampoo and it just like poof, my hair is just doing this thing. I'm like, it's kind of sexy though. It's kind of sexy. I have a consult later. Maybe my sexy hair will land me the deal. I don't know. No, Lord, I hope nobody hires me over my hair or not. So totally different subject. You can see random moments. It should be random feminine moments this morning. No. So getting into bare sex is, hey Mosley, nice to see you on here. It's a really interesting topic that has come up a lot. And just the other day, all right, so I know you're going to see this, the person I'm going to talk about right now, but I was asked the other day if I would have bare sex with somebody, and we're not in a sexual relationship, we're not dating, we're not seeing each other. That's not how the relationship is at all. But the question was, what, would you and why wouldn't you, kind of thing. Like, what would be those stopping points? And that just kind of spurred a whole bunch of stuff. Hey, morning Patrick too. I see a whole bunch of people popping on. Awesome. So, and I'm glad to see that it's a lot of guys, because this is really a conversation. Even though it is about the feminine, it is definitely for anybody who wants to know more about women and their rationale on bare sex. So I was asked if I would have bare sex by somebody that I'm not in a relationship with, and that's neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. And it's kind of like, that's a very quick summarized version of it too. I actually get asked this quite frequently because people think that I do something that I don't do. But so if you ever thinking, hey, does Kendall have sex? And that's what she does. No, that's not what I do. But the whole topic around bare sex is interesting because it's something that both sexes desire. Like, everybody wants bare sex. Bare sex is amazing. Bare sex is more connective. It's more intimate. It's more vulnerable. It feels better. It's just better, That's the way it was intended to go, is to be bare and to be deeply connective and everything. But as a woman, and as a very fertile woman, and as I shared with this gentleman who had asked me, like, would you consider having bare sex with me? And then I instantaneously, before he could even finish the sentence, I was like, no, I wouldn't. And he said, well, are you concerned that I have something? Are you concerned that I have a disease or something? And my instant thought was, well, that might be one, but in this particular moment, I think I know you well enough that I know the situation, everything, that I'm going to say I'm not concerned about that. Two pieces here. Number one piece for women especially, connection, sexual connection is a primary thing, okay? Unless we're drunk, unless we're really insecure, unless we're using our sex to manipulate, to gain something, financially take care of our support system, like make sure that we have roof, food, all that kind of stuff, then sometimes that kind of stuff can go to the side. That's why there's a lot of the sugar daddy thing going on in our world today, is because there's a lot of women that have learned how to market that men want, that they're not able to gain in certain situations, so they pay for it, okay, in different ways, whether that is a Gucci purse or some Michael Kors shoes or a trip or a college money or something like that. It does much money. Sugar daddy thing is a big thing in today's world. A lot of young women under the age of 35 especially are partaking in this feeding frenzy of sex being covered that way. So with that in mind, sometimes we kind of let that connection thing go because it is more of a business transaction, okay? So it's up for commerce. Now, if we are just looking at relationship and I want to have a sexual relationship with somebody, I want to connect with them intimately in that fashion, then what a woman is going to be looking for is that she's going to look, do I have chemistry with this person? Does this person turn me on? Am I connected to this person? Is there a desire here? Is he floating my boat in some way that, really makes me desire him, really want him? It is not just a physical thing. For women, sex is an emotional, mental thing on the front side, and is definitely more emotional than anything. Okay, where sex is happening on the inside of a woman's body, sex is happening on the outside of a man's body. It is very, men typically, and this is not saying all, there's plenty of men that as they age, as they learn, as they grow, they go for connection versus just the physical stimulation. That still does not change the fact that sex is happening on the outside of a man's body, on the inside of a woman's body. When a woman is stuck in her head for any given reason, she is not embodied. She is not feeling her sex. She is not feeling her heart. She's not actually tapping into her orgasm or her orgasmic powers. She's not surrendering to the orgasm, to her partner, or to herself in any fashion. She's just stuck up in her head, okay? So, number one, a woman has to be sexually desiring of her partner. She needs to be turned on to her partner because she needs to actually feel an emotional desire there to go at that intimate level. She needs to be able to feel safe so that she can become vulnerable, so that she can embody herself. She needs to be able to trust him in different ways. It all stems from if she's into him in that fashion or not. Because if she's not into him in that fashion, and we're not talking about like the whole sugar daddy scenario thing going on here, or somebody that is just trying to appease a partner or take care of certain things, that if we're just looking at the emotional and the sexual chemistry of it, a woman needs to feel emotionally connected and sexually connected to that person. So a desire, okay? After that, those are things that, in my opinion, you just are or you aren't, okay? It's just you are either attracted to somebody or you're not attracted to them. There doesn't have to be any reason for it. There's nothing that anybody can do about it. It just is, or it is not. So you just, like, that kind of stuff, you just got to accept. Now, on the second part, if this woman goes forward and she says, okay, I'm really attracted to this guy, I want to have sex with him. Now, if she enters into bare sex with him, and if she is a, fertile woman who everything's processing right, if she is not on birth control of some sort, which is a whole nother topic, talked about that a couple days ago, go back, read my article, listen to the Conscious Coffee on birth control, my thoughts on that, the emotional connections, psychological and physical connections, and all that goes into that. This is just about bare sex. So we're taking the scenario, a woman, myself, let's take myself, I don't use birth control, I don't, for all the reasons that I wrote about in my article the other day. Extremely fertile, hence the 7 children, right? Enjoy sex and prefer bare, but, don't want babies, so definitely condom up, okay? So if I am with somebody that I am really into, and that I'm like, yes, I want to take this move forward, right? Then if it is presented, I get into a sexual situation. We're getting heated, we're making out, we're touching, we're kissing, we're going down on each other. Things are moving that direction. Penetration comes up to the table, and my partner goes and pushes towards bare sex. And he knows that I'm not on birth control. He knows that I'm edgy. I don't want any more children. He doesn't want children. We're early in the relationship. The trust, the commitment level isn't there. We're not like, married and talking about having a family. Totally different scenario, okay? Talking about just the dating or just the relationship of just two people coming together who don't want to have children. Now, if he pushes forward and he tries to push for bare sex in that moment, instantaneously, the first thing that happens is a trust breach happens. So the woman is instantly going to start to fear him, not in a physical, like, oh my God, he's trying to hurt me, but fear him, and I can't trust you with what my boundaries are. I can't trust you to actually care for what my requests are and what we discussed. Okay, so there is definitely this whole trust issue that starts to get broken right there. So if, one time it gets heated, things happen, and you don't think about it, that's once. But if it consistently happens where he is pushing for bare sex, even after the conversation has happened, trust is getting broken over and over and over again. Okay, hey, morning, Lance. So it's really important, gentlemen, that if your girl or a woman that you are dating with, sexing with, and if you don't want children, and if she's not on birth control, never assume that it's the okay time in her cycle that you can push for this because she would let you know. A lot of women don't know how to vocalize their boundaries. A lot of women don't know how to say, no, actually we need to use a condom. They're scared that if they request the use of a condom, that the man will retreat and that it will send the man away, because it is a well-known fact that most guys are like, I don't want to use a condom. You know what? It kills the sensation. It does this. It does that. I can't keep an erection with a condom. I get all these excuses as to why they can't use a condom. And outside of the whole point of that, it's just smarter practices if you give a shit about your own health and the other person's health, because we lie to each other all the time, okay? You can say, I've been asked this numerous times, are you clean? Can I trust you? And I could have anything and people would just believe me. They would just go, if I went, yeah, I'm totally clean. You guys, when you're horny, you believe anything. You're just looking to get there. Okay, so never, ever, ever believe your partner. Ladies, don't believe your partner either, because the guys will tell you whatever they need to get what they're wanting. We live in a society where we basically are like, hey, I'll go in, I'll get what I want, and then I'll ghost them. That's that with that. But you don't know what you're actually transferring back and forth. And in the land of sex, it can be some doozy stuff that you'll never get rid of, or some stuff that will come up and bite you in the butt, like chlamydia and gonorrhea, that can sit in your system for years unnoticed, and then all of a sudden, boom, herpes is something that you don't ever get rid of. And that's just to mention like the top 3 things out there that are very prominent. Condoms can protect against most of that, okay? Just don't believe people. I mean, seriously, it's until you really get to know somebody, it really is. I mean, and I'm an advocate for testing and stuff like that. But let's say we trust our partner. We're entering into bare sex. We're into them sexually. We're connected. We believe everything that they've told us. We feel confident in that. And then our partner pushes for bare sex. Number 1, if we have requested that a condom needs to be used for whatever the reason is, then a condom needs to be used because the trust is getting broken. Every time trust gets broken, it causes a wall in a relationship. It causes a bitterness, a resentment level to start. It's not a good way to start a relationship. It's definitely not showing care, compassion, concern, or respect to your partner. partner's requests. It's basically saying, I'm going to just push right over your boundaries. I don't give a shit about what you are asking for, what your needs are. All I care about is what I want in this moment. Which, if you then turn around and say, I really care about you, I really love you. No, you don't, because you just pushed over the boundaries that was put there for a reason, that was asked for a reason. And if you assume that your partner is going to be able to speak their truth, think again, because I would be out of business if people could speak their truth. Okay, I would be out of business if people could speak their truth, because there would be no place for me. 90% of my work is getting people to communicate what they think, what they feel, what they need, their boundaries, their everything to the people in their life, especially to their intimate partners. We talk about sex to everybody else except for the person that we're having sex with, and we are scared to death to actually speak our truth to that partner. All right, so let's say that we go ahead and we have bear sex, okay? So these two people, they're having bear sex, and he's really feeling it. It's all great. He's like, oh my God, this is amazing. And he's doing the oh my Gods and the grunts and the primal sounds, and it's hot and it's heated. And she's trying to get into it. And she's trying to get into it. And she really is trying to get into it. And she's trying to feel him. And she's trying to connect to herself. And she's closing her eyes. And she's changing up her breathing. And she's bringing her consciousness down into her pussy. And she's really, really, really trying to feel it. Because she was feeling it when they were oral. She was feeling the kisses. She was feeling the touches. She was feeling all the heat. She wanted this moment. She was really feeling it. But now that the penetration has happened, now that the bear sex is happening, and there's no protection there, and she's fertile, and she doesn't exactly know, because guess what? There's really like only 4 or 5 days in a woman's cycle outside of her period that she can't get pregnant. Any other is edgy, okay? And if you're like me, you can get pregnant any day of the week. So, let's say that she's having the bear sex. Now she starts feeling like it's just not going to happen. I can't get into it. But now she's scared to death that if she fakes it, or if she actually gets into it, that he's going to come quicker. Once she ejaculates, now she's got this whole thing to deal with, right? Now her whole worry during the sex is, oh my God, if he comes, I could get pregnant. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure that I can't. And here's the thing. If you guys think that your pull-out game is wonderful, think again. Because there's this thing called pre-cum. The pre-cum is just as potent as the actual cum, okay? It's just as potent. So those little drops that lubricate the whole pathway so that when you ejaculate, everything's lubricated and everything has smooth sailing, that also carries with it impregnating content that can get some people knocked up, okay? Sorry that I'm not using all these scientific terms, but yeah, it's me here. I'm going for the bare, the real, the authentic version of this to make the point, drive this point home to all my followers, to all those gents out there who think that bear sex is no big deal. Okay, so she's there and she can't embody herself. She can't really feel an orgasm. She can't really get into it. Now, we're not talking about the woman that's had half a bottle of tequila, okay? This does not count. We're talking about a present conscious woman that has entered this fully in whole mind, okay? That she's really there. Not one that has something on her system that is loosening her up and making her do stupid shit, okay? So if she has entered this in consciousness, she's not going to be able to embody herself if she is worried. She's going to feel a trust breach, because if she has requested to use a condom, or if she feels that a condom needs to be used, she's going to have a fear of vocalizing the need, the boundary, setting it there, because she's afraid that he will retract his connection to her, that she will lose him, okay? So she's going to provide the bear sex just to keep the man, okay, to feel like there's a connection there. And if he pushes after he knows that it really should not be happening like this, he's breaking the trust. He's causing bitterness. He's causing resentment. He's causing fear. He's actually causing emotional trauma to his partner. And then the next little piece is that she can't embody herself. Okay, so she's not embodying herself, so she's not going to be able to actually experience orgasm. She's not going to actually be able to connect to her partner. She's not going to be 100% in the game. You're going to get about 2% of her, not 100% of her. Okay, so 2% because of the push for the bear sex. Okay, There you go. She's not going to be able to embody. If you've watched any of my more sexual content-based conscious coffees or trainings, been to any of my workshops, you know how important it is for a woman to be able to embody herself during sex. A woman cannot experience the depths of orgasm, the true connection, cannot really open, surrender, be vulnerable if she cannot embody herself during the actual act of sex. Okay, so she is fearful for any reason. If she does not trust her partner for any reason, then she's not going to be able to drop down and surrender and really truly experience orgasm. Now she can fake it. She can fake it. She can get you off. She can still rock your world. She can make you think that you're the man. You're her superhero here. But the truth is that if she is having her boundaries pushed, if she's not feeling safe, she will not be able to embody herself. I spilled water on myself. So, the feminine and bare sex causes us not to embody ourselves if we're not in the right scenario, right? This is a two-way street. This is not just on gentlemen out there, okay? I want to bring attention to that men need to be conscious enough to inquire, conscious enough to understand, and have compassion enough to see that if a woman is not wanting to pollute her body with a bunch of chemicals, that it's her body and she has the right to make whatever choice she wants to make, whether that is using birth control or to not. That does not mean anything other than that, her choice, okay? But if a woman chooses a path that does not add in chemicals into her body and requests condoms, it is your respectful duty, if you want to be intimate with this woman, to actually support her choice to be healthy and to not pollute herself with those chemicals. And it is not appropriate or loving in any fashion to push somebody into bare sex if that's not what if they really don't feel comfortable with it, and not to just assume that she'll let you know, because she won't. She wants to keep you. She's willing to sacrifice her body, her fear. She's willing to probably go and take the morning after pill 3 times in a row, go get an abortion, even have a baby that she's not ready for, that she doesn't want, just so that she can keep that connection to you, okay? So don't think that she's going to use this, because she probably won't. 90% of females will not communicate that, which is why you guys think that it's okay, because of the training. Now, ladies, guys need to be more conscious. Guys need to be more inquisitive. Guys need to be more respectful. Guys need to understand these things and get that one 10-minute to 2-hour event of sexing and 30 seconds of woo-woo for them can cause us all this emotional, mental stuff, plus potentially years of commitments or different things going on, depending on what we choose, right? Because if we get pregnant, we have to put chemicals in our system to get rid of the baby quickly, or we have to have an abortion, which causes up to 2 years worth of flop-ups in our system, which can cause physical issues, which can lead to cervical cancer and different things like that, right? Or we end up having a baby that we are not really wanting, okay? Ladies, we have a role in this too, and that's to use our voice. That is to speak our truth. That is to request what we need, what we want, to ask for our boundaries to be held, and to help teach our men what is good and what is not, how to respect a woman, what sex really means, how to help us embody ourselves, how to hold space for us, how to truly connect. It is our responsibility as women to speak that and to ask for it. If we're not doing that, then we can't expect him to be psychic, have ESP, and to know what's going on inside of us, because men are not taught these things. And as women, we remain shut down, closed, and we don't share. But we bitch to our girlfriends. We complain about it. We hold it. But it's really, really important to speak that. And it's important to get right with what your needs are, what your boundaries are. Like, know thyself first. Don't expect a partner to know you better than you know yourself, because it's not going to happen. Okay, so my 6-year-old's throwing a fit now. Mommyhood is calling me, and I think I made my point. So I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to go and be mom for a second. I wonder if you guys can hear that screaming in the background. It's mommy land here. Brothers fighting. So, if I've said anything in here that has touched you, that has made you think of anybody that needs to hear this message, male or female, please hit the share button. Please share this with them in a private message. Get them on this conscious coffee. This is stuff that does not get talked about, but it is very real world, very real sex, very real relationship, very real life. And it is just the way it is. It is the raw truth. So please, please, share this message. As always, stop existing, start living. If you would like any more information on one-on-one coaching or events that are, if you're local, please message me in the comment section or private message me. I look forward to doing another Conscious Coffee tomorrow with less screaming coming from my 6-year-old. God, I love holiday weekends, right? Okay, stop existing, start living, and have an amazing sex life.